So going back into the core self and just getting a sense of don't forget who you are. So who are you? Different ways of connecting with yourself on the daily. One of the most powerful ways that I've started to really practice on the daily, and maybe a few times a day, is just breath work. And I've heard breath work a million times, just like I've heard meditation. And meditate, you'll get to know yourself, meditate, you'll be more calm. And it took me years and years to meditate. And some of my meditation was just walking meditation, moving meditation, because I couldn't really sit still very well. And now I can sit still and I will do meditation, but I don't do like an hour long. I do snippets of meditation throughout the day and snippets of breath work. And the breath work, I feel like actually gives me a sense of where my core is because I settle down all the external stimulation. So, then one of the most basic ones that I do, and I'm going to do it with you right now, and I'm going to do an abbreviated version. So the version goes like this. We're going to take 3 breaths in and 3 breaths out. And we're going to hold our breath for like, I'm going to try to say, I'm going to try to hold my breath for about 30 seconds and then exhale. And then we'll do one more set of it. And that is like a very basic breath work exercise. It's like one of the beginning ones. It's so easy. Then there's more complicated ones that you can do. But connecting with your own breath is actually connecting with the deepest part of yourself. And if you can stay connected to that part of yourself throughout the day, your whole nervous system will just be like right there in a very balanced way so that you can connect with yourself quickly, easily, and it will give you clarity, confidence, conciseness. And so I've been noticing that switch that I can switch into that pretty quickly because we live in a very overstimulated world. And maybe even when we wake up in the morning, we're kind of a little anxious because there's maybe a huge day ahead of us, or we're running late, or we didn't sleep well. But connecting with your breath will bring you back to that part of yourself. Like, don't forget who you are. Here you are. So let's breathe together. So three breaths, right? So breathing in, I like to count like into 5. So breathing in for 5 and out for 5. And count to yourself and try to hear noise on your exhale. So breathing in for 5 and out for 5 and breathing in for 5 and breathing out for 5. And in order to breathe in, and in order to hold, we have to breathe in. So breathe in and then hold for as long as you can. I'm going to time it to 30 seconds. Take a breath in and then slowly come back to the center here. So I'm not sure if that was 30 seconds, but maybe on camera and with all the talking, that's all I could do. So I hope that you just take a minute to notice how your body is and if you're with yourself right now. So, if we want to stay with ourselves, we also have to build confidence and we have to build this emotional resiliency, which means we really have to stay connected to our tools and to whenever there's a transition, whenever there's um, I don't know, what would we call it, like conflict or internal conflict or something that you have to solve. Part of it is staying with yourself, regulating yourself. And what does that mean? Everyone always says that word, like emotional regulating. Are you regulating yourself? So, regulating means that you're so balanced, your emotional state and your rational state is that you can actually have emotions and think at the same time. It's very, very balanced mind, body, spirit, right? You're able to think clearly. You could think about it like, if you're in a crisis, like you see the EMT people, emergency room people, they're in a crisis and you wouldn't know it. They're super calm. They can talk to you. They can think about what they have to do. They can stay right in that space. So I'm not saying that you need to be in a crisis to be self-regulated, but throughout the day, there's times that you're not regulated and there's times you are. Things that could deregulate you could be that someone just was driving erratically on the road and you were like kind of in a hurry, but not in that much of a hurry, but it threw you off. Someone could say something to you that feels really offensive and it could throw you off and make you not be able to think. You could also feel like you get a lot of accolades, like sometimes if you're like public speaking and you feel like everyone is quiet and you can't access everybody, or everyone is really like clapping for you and that throws you off and you can't think about what you want to say to them. So regulation, self-regulation, emotional regulation is really important. You have to understand what offsets your nervous system. Sometimes it's a person, maybe if it's even your partner and you've been in conflict. And so when you see them, all you can do is think about the conflict you had when you were last with them. And so you're not very productive, you're not very present. So to just notice that, be very, very aware of that and watch your limiting beliefs. Like, I can't handle this. This is too much for me. This person's making me uncomfortable. And sometimes it feels like a fear of being able to be present in what's going on right now. Watch your patterns. Like maybe you throw in something that distracts you, like humor, and it's a disconnection. It kind of takes the pressure off of you. You say something even like self-denigrating about something like, "Oh, don't you love what I'm wearing?" or something like that in a sarcastic way. So people sort of stop thinking about the thing, or you stop thinking about the thing that's making you uncomfortable. Maybe you paralyze and you just don't say anything. Maybe your anxiety is so high that you can't really think about how to engage with someone. So watch your limiting beliefs and really come in there with yourself to have a voice in yourself that encourages you. And sometimes an encouraging voice is like a mantra, like just be here now, or you don't need to think about that right now. Or what is that person really saying? Right? So there's a voice of reason going on in your head. And if you're not calm and you can't acclimate that way, you might want to encourage yourself more like, you're going to be fine. You're totally valid to be here. You're a wonderful, kind person. I love you. I have your back. Just seeking peace. All of those things could be mantra affirmations that just help you come into a space where you can actually show up again. And sometimes showing up, it might be even that breath, that 5 count breath. Sometimes when I'm with people that are really not regulated, I'll just say sort of cue words like, "Do you feel your feet on the floor?" I might even do a motion like this, very somatic motion that helps you just like feel your body, right? So whatever it is, right now I'm just like rubbing my thighs with my hands. Like that's another very regulating thing to do. So part of it is coming into present, knowing when you're not regulated, working with your confidence, working with your limiting beliefs, and trying to be as present as you can so you can show up, but in a loving way, because you're loving yourself in the difficulty and the deregulation, watching your nervous system. Sometimes I like to have this imagery of like just combing down your nervous system so it's smooth again. Like thinking about it as like a dog with its hair up on end or a cat with its hair up on end, and you're just like calming that animal down so they can relax again and just be here. And maybe here isn't so bad as the mind is making it be. So there's another part of don't forget who you are and notice when you're having a hard time, and also notice the practices that you're trying to instill in yourself so the resiliency and the emotional connection that you have with yourself and the confidence will always be there no matter what.